Joining us now is the Secretary of State for Sport and a former Olympian himself, and Adam Van Koeverden, joining us from Milton. I believe you're in your home riding today, sir.
Yeah, we watched the game at Champs, one of the best sports bars in Milton. There was over 100 people there. There's a lot of energy. The boys put on quite a good show. There's a lot of great shots on net, an incredible tournament from start to finish, to be honest. Some great hockey. 42, 43 shots on net makes for an incredible game to watch. But the Jets goalie Hellebuck just played hell of a game. So disappointing for sure. But overall, looking back on the Milano Cortina Olympics, there's so many great stories. We fielded a huge team, over 200 athletes represented Canada. I think our Olympians are our greatest ambassadors. They did a great job over there. Couldn't be more proud of the team. And trying to find silver linings in a silver medal in hockey is tough for Canada because we like gold. But it's an achievement nonetheless.
It certainly is. We can't forget that other people often have, in years past, battled it out just to have the privilege to lose to us in the gold medal game. So it's definitely our turn to take, a second bow, or a second place bow. But, sir, one thing I want to think about when we're talking about the Olympics, and we only really get to have these conversations every few years, the development of athletes that are at this level, that takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of infrastructure, and it takes a lot of people like you that are essentially holding purse strings and making sure that the money gets to the right places. So when you think about the showing that our athletes have had, and I'm not dismissing any of the greatness that we've seen this year, we had some questions about how many gold medals we were going to end up getting, that we had higher expectations to lower reality for a couple of the days of this games. As much as it may be an unfair question, sir, do you think that our showing this year versus, say, when we hosted in 2012 is indicative of how much we're investing in sport right now?
Well, I don't mean to correct you, but we hosted obviously in 2010, not in 2012.
Thank you.
And it was a different era in sport, obviously, for our country. Look, I think that sport is Canada's greatest nation-building project. I think every dollar invested into sport, whether it's from the private or the public sector, whether it's from the municipal government, the provincial government, territorial government, or federal, is a good investment in the next generation. And it's one of the main reasons why I put my name on a ballot about 7 years ago to emphasize how important I think sport, physical activity, recreation, and play are for nation building. So, you can count me among the many Canadians that want to see more sports, more activities for kids, more development, not necessarily so that we win more Olympic medals. That's not the bottom line. The bottom line is a healthier, happier, more connected country that has more opportunities and occasions to compete, to have teammates, to have mentors, to learn how to be coached and be a coach. I think these are great life skills, and we need to look no further than the quality of our teams and athletes that compete for Canada, whether at the Olympics or the upcoming Paralympics or the Arctic Winter Games, which will be in Yukon in March, or at the FIFA Men's World Cup, which will be later this summer. This is 2026 is Canada's year of sport. It started with the 2026 Milano Cortina Olympics. We're going to move into now the Paralympic season, and then throughout the year, we're going to be celebrating the 50th anniversary of the first time that Canada hosted the Olympics on home soil in Montreal. That was 1976. Remarkable to think that was half a century ago. But there's so many World Cups and World Championships that are taking place here in Canada. So please, I encourage all Canadians to not stop cheering for Team Canada just because the men's gold hockey game is over. There's so many more opportunities to continue to cheer for Team Canada, whether that's the Paralympics, the Arctic Winter Games, the UCI World Cycling Championships are in Montreal in September. Obviously, FIFA is going to be very exciting. I love cheering for Team Canada in soccer tournaments. And look, there's just always a Team Canada athlete every single weekend competing for our country around the world. So I always tell people, for Olympians, the Olympics aren't every 4 years; they're every single day.
And I'm glad you brought that up. I know we're running out of time, and I know we have to say goodbye quickly, but Mr. Secretary, very fast, when you think about the fact that we only talk about, maybe curling's one thing, but there's so many sports we don't talk about except every 4 years, what would you maybe say to people to encourage them to watch some of those events that you're talking about?
Well, I'd encourage them not only just to watch events, but try them. We're a country, I'm standing outside in the winter. I love the winter season. I love winter sports, but I wonder how many, Canadians have tried cross-country skiing or, considered putting their kids in speed skating. There's just so many sports that are maybe a little bit obscure or foreign to Canadians, which needn't be. So we need to develop more infrastructure and more opportunity. But look, as disappointed as we might be with a silver medal, let's think of the context. It's sports. We compete because because we want to try to win doesn't mean we always will win. It certainly makes our wins brighter and more special when we reflect on how challenging it can be. The best part of this is tomorrow, 41 million Canadians will wake up in the best country in the world, go off to school, go off to work, hug your families, and keep recognizing and appreciating that Canada is the best country in the world. And I couldn't ever be more grateful than I am today to call myself a Canadian.
Mr. Secretary, we are grateful as well for you joining us today from your home riding in Milton. Secretary of State for Sport and a former Olympian himself, Adam Van Koeverden. Thank you very much for your time.